welcome to...
That was not on purpose.
You gotta pretend like it was. Welcome to Pop
Oh
Live.
no, what did I do?
I feel like it's been a long time since we've been here, but I guess it's only been like a few days because we were on a special episode on Friday. Brian's here. Hey, Brian. I know I owe you like a couple emails. Sorry, I'm gonna get to you very soon. But in the meantime, thanks for hanging out with us here today. Emmett is here as well. That's how I feel. We've been so busy. I'm so tired. And our other little one has had many bouts of diarrhea all night. So I had to wake up several times all throughout the night. I'm tired. But this is what's going to energize me and get me all excited. It's because we're talking about something that is really important when coming to creating and planning your virtual event. So a lot of our nonprofit friends and clients, when they think about putting together their virtual event, whether it's a fundraiser or a conference, a webinar, all those types of things, almost always the first thing that we talk about is what's going to go into the program. And almost always the first thing they say is, well, we figure we should have this going on. We should have this person speak and all these things that they've planned out. And then they will ask, well, do you think that's good? And the problem with that is I don't know who the audience is and what the goal is yet. So we always want to take it back to starting with the foundation. And even for nonprofits, when they're planning ideas of what to make their event about, this is probably the best first step that you can take. And it makes it a lot easier as well too, because I think that takes off a lot of the stress of guessing of what should we have in this event. That is kind of what we've been saying for several other live streams, which is figuring out who your audience is that you're trying to reach, and then what matters to them. What do they care about? And then you can figure out what you should have and do in your program, because now you'll know if those things that you are planning are in line with who your audience is, and will they even care about it, and does it matter to them? Because if you're worried about how many people will attend and if anyone will show up, which you should, then you should care about what that audience that you want to show up would want to hear and learn. We actually just had like a meeting with somebody, and they're talking about planning a virtual event, a fundraiser. And the whole time, all they did was talk about like, oh, should we call this person and have this person come and speak? And, oh, what about if we have these two people who haven't talked for a long time and they can do a talk together on the live and stuff like that. And they started getting really into the weeds of it all, just the concept of it. Will this person feel comfortable talking about this topic with this other person on screen and all this stuff? And nobody at any point asked, well, who are we trying to reach, and would they even want to watch that? Would they even want to hear that conversation? And so, I tried my best to bring that point up and say, well, I think the first goal is like, who are you trying to reach? And they said, well, we want to get a younger audience that doesn't normally, attend these kind of events, and we want them to get involved with us. We want them to learn more about our organization so that maybe they'll find some connection there and want to join or support, donate, and all that stuff. But we really need to build our younger audience. And then I said, I think the main question is like, if that younger audience is, let's put a face and a name to them. Let's say John, the 30-year-old, like, do you think that John would want to hear this conversation between these two people? And they're like, oh, that's a great point. And there's like older people and they're like, I know I would be interested, but you're right. I don't know if they would care about this. It's like, yeah, what do they care about? That should be what inspires you to come up with the content of your event.
I'm bored. Look at how much headroom there is in the shot.
Oh,
It's like we're like Muppets on the bottom.
well, that's because you're slouching heavily.
This is still too much headroom.
You gotta get closer.
No, thank you. Let's
we
move
go.
it on.
Here we go. Oh yeah, moving on,
I
moving.
don't want to.
Too bad, you got it. All right. Well, since you're bored, what would you want to say about this?
I think we've said all this stuff before, but I think people have a hard time figuring out what it means in practical terms. Like, theoretically, yeah, we want to reach these people. But then what's the next step? Like, I don't know. I don't know why it seems like it's really hard for people to wrap their minds around how to actually do it.
That's
Like
true.
with our friends.
Yeah. Okay, so if it were you planning an event, maybe that can help. We can give an example. So let's say we want to create an event for pop creative media, and we're trying to reach nonprofits, and we want to have them watch our live stream. We're doing a live stream event where we're going to be hoping to gain more connections with other nonprofits that we haven't been connected with yet, and we think that by them learning about us, we might be a resource to them. So my first instinct would be similar to what some of our clients and friends have done, which is I'll think of like cool, fun things to make our event sound cool.
I think the first thing that people go to is like, what are our resources that we already have? Who do we know that we could bring on who we think is a big draw or a big name somehow? And how do we use the things that we already know we can get?
Versus thinking even if that's even
interesting to anybody. Like if, like, say they're like in their 60s, in their 50s and 60s, and all these people are in their 50s and 60s because there's people that they've known since they were coming up. But if their goal is to reach people in their 20s and 30s because they want to grow their audience and have their people starting younger, supporting them,
mm-hmm.
are those other people going to be a draw for those people? Sometimes they are, but they just don't start there.
Yeah. And then also a lot of times organizations will just try to copy what others do, thinking that that's what you do. So they'll say, okay, so we need a live music artist. So who can we get? And it's like, well, do you need a live musical artist? Like if music and or that artist doesn't really have anything to do with your audience or your mission or whatnot, then why add that just for the sake of, because you think that's what everybody has. Everybody has some kind of what is that?
Mm-hmm.
What is that thing called? Where you
Music?
bid on stuff?
Auction.
Auction. Have an auction, music artist, and a celebrity, I don't know, host or something like that. Like, I don't know. It's kind of, we kind of see the same things, but so yeah, when you recognize like who or those kind of problems that people tend to have as far as mistakes go, like what you were just mentioning, is there other ways that you can describe that can make people realize what we're talking about as far as like, oh yeah, I do that? Like, because like you said, people hear and go, oh yeah, it makes total sense that we figure out who our audience is and what they care about first. And in this case, when I said that to this group, they went, oh yeah, that makes total sense. So what we'll do next, our next step is we'll reach out to those people that we were going to ask to speak, and then figure out what they want to talk about. And I was like, wait, we just skipped the whole step that you just said made sense. So it really was confusing to me how, even though they nodded and they said, yeah, that makes total sense, it didn't seem like they understood it.
I think if you nail down what your goal is with your event and think about the person that you're trying to reach that would help you accomplish that goal, and then figure out somebody that you know that fits that person, like an actual person, like not like a theoretical idea of a person, like the avatar that everybody talks about, but think of an actual person. And then at every step of the way, ask, is this person gonna, I almost said a bad word.
What were you going to say? I'm
This
curious.
person gonna give two
Oh.
blanks about this.
I thought you were going to say give, is this person going to effing care? Oh, Brian would have been like, yes, this is what I'm here for.
But yeah, just keep like maybe make a post-it. Oh, sorry, that didn't sound good. Like make a note somewhere, like a big neon post-it with that person, and always come back to it every step along the way when you're talking to people to come on, talking about what they're going to talk about. Is that person going to give two poops about it?
Two shiitake mushrooms about it. That kind of reminds me of an activity or a game that we used to play when I was doing theater, and it would help us in improv. It was like an improvisational activity, and it's called the Golden Nubby, which is we all performers are standing in a circle, and you have this like imaginary golden nubby in the middle, which is the theme. And so the game is that you got to sing a song, and as the lyrics come out, you know, your goal is to want to get to the center. So you tag the person in the center out so that they stop singing, and you start singing a song that is inspired or related to the lyrics you just heard. So for instance, if there is there you see her looking there across the way, you gotta kiss the girl, and then don't have to be beautiful, kiss. So it's like all these songs, you kind of build tangents off of it. And so
what does that have to do with this at all?
So the thing is,
I'm so hungry.
So the thing is, I forgot to make you dinner or lunch. Sorry. I just realized what it is that I forgot to do. I was like, there's something I'm forgetting to do. I forgot to make you lunch. That was a bad decision. But the point is that there's going to be points in this game where you're not going to be able to think of a song that relates to the last lyrics that are being sung, and the person in the middle is just going to get stranded, and then it's like brutal.
Oh,
and
no.
So we always would say you can always go back to the Golden Nubby, which is the very first thought that we started the whole game off with. So if the theme was kiss, and we start going off, and then eventually we start getting to a tangent of a song like potatoes, and then somebody's like singing about potatoes, and they're like, why won't anybody tag me out? Like, I have no songs that relate to any of these lyrics. Then you go back to the Golden Nubby, which is kiss, and you come back and start with another song about kiss.
What is a nubby?
I don't know, but it's a really fun word to say. It almost sounds naughty, but it's such a whimsical word that it's okay. It's like a childlike word. The Golden Nubby. So the same thing goes, like as you start to plan your event, you're gonna go off on tangents and start to get lost in the planning. But if you go back to that Golden Nubby, if you set that kind of what she said, like kind of put it out there maybe on a note where it's like, okay, this again is the focus. This is the point. That can then help you, navigate back. Like, is what we're talking about, is what we're stressing about, even worth talking about, because does it relate to achieving this Golden Nubby?
That was so loud. Did you hear my tummy?
Brian, did you hear
it might have picked up on the mic.
I think so because the mic is so close to
I
your stomach.
know.
That just proves how hungry you really are. Which I should make you lunch soon. Any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns? Anything else about that?
I don't know. It's just really important. I think people don't start there and then they end up maybe not achieving their goals, or they just reach the same audience that is already their loyal followers. So,
Or people don't show up or and stuff because they didn't even think about reaching their core audience. They just made an event that is kind of like there's nothing. What's the word? Like it doesn't attract or draw anybody because it's not important to anyone. It's just like, oh, this doesn't sound interesting at all to me. So um, I think you can definitely make the process easier for you as far as the planning, because man, that seems like to be the most stressful part about it is for organizers is planning, figuring out what they're gonna do and who they're gonna have on and what type of activities and stuff. And if you go at it this way, you might not even have it might be super simple after you figure this part out of who your audience is and what is important to them and what's interesting to them. And then it's like, oh, well, here A, B, and C. Super simple. And we have the resources. Let's go tackle it. Versus I think what we've seen others do is they just throw out a huge net and ask all these different people and things and see what they even have available to them. And then a lot of the time, and then their initial thought is, oh, and then we'll pick what we think will work and fit it in. But a lot of times they'll feel guilty that they got a yes from them. So they just try and cram them all into the program. And then it's just like, oh, this is a lot of stuff that maybe doesn't even flow naturally or isn't even interesting to people.
I think if you have a goal and a person that you're trying to reach, then you can communicate that to the people that you're trying to bring on. And then they might have an idea of what they can talk about that will matter to that person and help achieve that goal, rather than just like, hey, what do you want to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just have a purpose to your planning.
Yeah, and that even brings me up to that reminds me like how we come up with stuff, like not for an event but even for, I don't know, when we're planning content or a new program or something. Jamie will always challenge me with like, okay, so who is your target audience? Like, who are you trying to reach? And I'll give a generic thing like, oh, person who's 30, 40 years old, that's a professional. And it's just like, no, but like, give me a name, give me somebody that I can also see, so I know exactly like what type of person you're envisioning. And it's when I'll say like a friend or a mutual friend, and she'll be like, okay, that's totally different from what it sounded like you were trying to reach before. So I'm glad that you told me this because that changes everything.
We're super low energy.
We are. Sorry. Thanks, Brian, for hanging out with us and staying.
It's super painful. Sorry. I'm hungry, and Nolan had to deal with a lot of runny baby dog tummy.
And I got to go and set up for a virtual event that we're producing tomorrow. So today is the setup.
And you got to get Aloha shirt.
Yeah. Man, I put out a request for suggestions on a nice, trendy, fashionable, yet affordable
Didn't
Aloha
Brian
shirts.
recommend something?
Yeah. Oh, Brian's here because of super low energy.
Are you hungry?
Did we just bring you down even more?
Out even all the rest of your energy. Oh.
Sorry, Brian.
Oh.
But yeah, so I got all these amazing suggestions of places and brands of Aloha shirts. And then I totally didn't do anything about it.
You didn't have time.
That too. But it's tomorrow that the event that I need to get this Aloha shirt for. And I'm like, when am I going to be able to get one? So
does your existing shirt fit?
it may fit, but the problem is it has holes in it. So I don't know if it's a. And these cameras are so good now that I think it'll show. Whereas before, when it was in-person events, I was up on a stage so people
Oh
couldn't see. But
no.
yeah, tomorrow they'll
Puka
see.
shirt.
So, um, so yeah, Ren Spooner. So it's Ren Spooner.
Online though, we can't get it
Oh,
online.
yeah, I
We
need to get it.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I need it by tomorrow night. So I gotta go to a store.
Tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, Brian says that he really likes the vest look on me, which I appreciate. But they want me to wear aloha attire because that's kind of the theme they're going for. So I have to specifically wear an aloha shirt, and I only have one, which is the holy one. So, and it's not even in the colors that are with the theme, which I would like to at least kind of be similar, like not clash with the colors of the theme of this event. So somehow, between now and me packing all of our equipment and setting up the set at the studio, I have to find an aloha shirt for tomorrow. The cool part is, if I get it today, we have a washing machine and a dryer in our house, so I can actually wash it the day before, so it'll be clean for tomorrow, which
That's
is
very exciting.
I've never had that luxury of such accessibility.
Not never.
Well, it's been
Not in a long time. It's been years.
because even with the place we're at before, I had a washing machine but no dryer, and it would have come out wet or damp on screen or super crispy and crunchy, which also would be uncomfortable.
Okay.
Okay, so with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining us. Brian, I hope you get something to eat or drink or
Take a nap.
yeah, hope you feel there. And again, I apologize. I will be emailing you very soon. And I'm gonna go get her something to eat, and I'm gonna go check on our baby, make sure she hasn't pooped the bed or anything. But we'll see you next week. I think we'll be on at regular time, Tuesday, 12:30 Hawaii Standard Time. But of course, just follow us, Pop Creative Media, on Facebook or YouTube. And when the next episode is scheduled, you'll get a notification. All right. Have a great rest of your day and your week. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.